Hi folks, welcome back to part 2 of our exhibition poster exercise. This is Tim Kovar. We've got our beginnings of our layout in place, and now we need to add some type to this design. Okay, now I need a title. Alright, title is always a good thing, and nice and simple here. I would like the title Look Up. Okay, so I'm going to select my type tool, and whereas before I had the type on the top left and bottom right outside the frame, now I want to have it centered in the frame on the image. Okay, so I can click and drag a text box here, and I get a little cursor, and I can type look up. Can't see it. Alright, it's in there though. I want to choose a typeface. I want to choose a size. Okay, so pick something. It takes a while to get used to these point sizes. Okay, so that's what 100 point looks like, if you can see it. Alright, but you can see the problem of trying to put type on top of a picture. Okay, that area that I want it in is kind of bright or kind of dark, so I want to have my type white, I think. Alright, I can't honestly remember what point size I used on the original, so let's try 120 just to see what it looks like. Okay, I don't mind that. Alright, now you can see that black type doesn't really fit right there. Okay, so let's change the color of it. So I'm going to go up here to my type tool, in the contextual menu, the type fill, what color goes into those letter spaces. And if I click and hold the triangle, I'm going to click white, or what it says is paper white. Okay, so there'll be no ink laid down in that area. Okay, suddenly it's a lot more legible. Alright, now you could click this and move it around and try and guess and say where is the center of this page. Alright, but that's a little bit awkward. Okay, an easy way to center type is to drag the type, or drag the text box to the edge of the page. Alright, left and right, so it spans the full width of the paper. You can see right now it's left aligned. If I click on my type tool, okay, I don't want it to be left aligned, I want it to be center aligned. Because I've drawn my text box to the same size as the page, now I know that those letter forms are mathematically in the center of the page. Okay, so I don't have to guess, I don't have to try and fiddle with the other type of measurements. Do I have the box just exactly the right size? I'll let InDesign use its mathematical power to do that for me. Okay, now one thing I notice about this, because that background is so busy, alright, the type doesn't quite stand out as clearly as I would like it to. Alright, I can turn off the normal view and turn on preview, see what it looks like. So it's not bad, but it still could be a little bit cleaner, a little bit more distinct. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an effect on this object, and the object we have is type. Okay, so I'm going to go up to the object palette. I'm going to go down to effects. Okay, and you can see there's a lot of different effects here, but in this case what I want to do is put a little bit of shape, a little bit of color around the outside edge of the letters to make them stand out more, and with that I'm going to do outer glow. Okay, now make sure that the preview checkbox is on so you can see the changes that you're going to make. Okay, there we go. Let's try that again. No need to panic, folks. Okay, alright. Now, blending mode, I don't really understand these, so I turn them on to normal. Okay, alright. This little box here is the color that it needs to be. Now, I want it to be a color of black, because what I'm worried about here is not the sharp L against the black behind it, but I want to make a bit more distinct separation between the image there. So I want this to be black. Alright, now we could make it pink, magenta, I don't think that's a great idea. All right, so let's go with black. Okay, now you've got a number of different parameters down here that you can change. And I decided what I liked was a size of 5 millimeters. Okay, and if you go here to the spread dialog, see how you can bump that up and make it increase in size. All right, so the size and the spread both change that, and that looks pretty awful to me. So I only want it to be just a bit distinct. Okay, so I was looking at about 25%, and I don't even want the opacity to be 100%. I want it to be a fairly subtle effect. Okay, so now watch when I turn the preview on and off. See how it just puts a little bit of shading on the image there, and it makes those, particularly the U and the P, stand out a little bit more, and yet it's not particularly obvious that that shading is on the letter forms. It just makes them a bit more distinct. Okay, so that is clicking on the text box, going up to the object palette, going down to effects, and going to outer glow. Okay, you can try these different effects and see how they work. Okay, now let's hit W is the command for turning off the normal view and saying, okay, all right, I like the way that looks. Okay, but now with every exhibition needs to have location, needs to have date, needs to know who it is. Okay, so I'm going to take my type tool, and again I want to have this centered across the page, but I'm going to have this type much smaller than the previous one. All right, so I'm going to draw my text box across there. I'm going to have it centered aligned. All right, and I forgot to change my typeface up here. I didn't really like Minion Pro. I was using Garamond Pro. Similar, but a little bit finer, a little bit cleaner. Okay, but now I want my information down here to be different, and I want that to be Helvetica. Not that I use Helvetica every time, but it's just great. Okay, so let's see. An exhibition of photographs by Tim Kovar, Farmley House, Phoenix Park, Dublin. I spelled that wrong, can't see it. Okay, so 12-point black type on a busy background isn't visible. So let's see what 24 looks like. Okay, still not good enough. All right, let's make it 30. Okay, about the size. Let's see. No, I'd rather have it about 28. And instead of regular, let's make it bold. Is that still going to fit? Okay, now you can't read that, can you? Okay. Dublin, there we go. All right, so I like to have a difference between my white type for the headline and the black type for the details. That's part 2. In part 3, we'll add a gray panel behind that type to make it more legible. So this is Tim. Thanks for watching.